The second investigation I would like to update you on occurred August 8, 2019 at 327 Bruce Street. At this time, officers responded to that location to find two individuals who were suffering from gunshot wounds. Each of those individuals later died as a result of gunshot wounds. Today, my office has authorized charges against Kelvin G. Langston, date of birth November 16, 1990. The charges include first-degree murder, and that is several counts. Many of those counts include enhanced penalties should Mr. Langston be convicted. The counts allege that Mr. Langston committed the murder during the course of a home invasion and also in an effort to prevent one of the victims from testifying in court. The penalty range is 45 years to natural life if convicted of the first-degree murder of more than one person. In addition, these charges are merely allegations, and the defendant is presumed innocent until or unless found guilty in a court of law. A warrant has been issued for Mr. Langston with a bond set at $10 million. Mr. Langston is currently housed in the Winnebago County Jail on unrelated charges. Again, I would like to thank the Rockford Police Department for their efforts in consistently working on this investigation, bringing it to my office, which has resulted in my office bringing charges against Mr. Langston. I always like to take this time to ask the community if you have information on any unsolved crimes that have occurred within Winnebago County. I encourage you to call law enforcement so they can continue to follow up on the information that's provided to them so that we can have a resolution where my office, if the evidence exists, can in fact bring charges against that individual and to try to seek justice for the victims involved. At this time, again, I'd ask Chief O'Shea to step forward.
I'd like to commend the officers, the detectives work on the case. As we've stated in previous violent criminal cases, we will continue to go after these individuals, these predators, with everything we got and lock them up and hopefully never have them back in our community again. It's a double murder. 2 people lost their lives. However, we're hoping to get this person to be held accountable and continue to try and drive down the violent crime in the city. We still have too much violent crime. It continues to decline, but there's still too much. Very happy to get rid of a double murder, clearing it with an individual being charged, and hopefully the prosecution continues through and the individual will never come back to the city of Rockford.
At this time, I'd be happy to take any questions that you might have. I will indicate to you that Mr. August is expected in court on January 29th in courtroom B, as in boy, before the Honorable Judge Jennifer Clifford. And you will have the press release sent out to all of you. Are there any questions?
Yes. When going over August's criminal history, being in your position, has it made you multiple orders of protection, multiple crimes before, obviously, the incident at the Heritage Credit Union? Has it made you want to evaluate the justice system in any way, shape, or form?
Well, first of all, it would be improper for me to comment on a defendant's criminal history. What I can tell you is at the time that this incident occurred, which is a matter of public record, there was a warrant that had been issued for Mr. August on an unrelated offense, and that offense will also follow through the criminal process. Any other questions?
Going to the Kelvin Langston, I know that a second person, Douglas Holyfield, was a person of interest in the investigation. Is any charges, murder charges, being brought against him, or is he in custody or anything?
Mr. Holyfield was charged in a separate incident with Mr. Langston prior to the murders. We have no evidence that Mr. Holyfield was even in the area at that time.
Okay, so only Langston for that particular case?
At this time.
Okay.
As with most investigations, they are ongoing, and if information is brought to law enforcement, they will follow up on that.
Is Mr. Langston related to one of the victims?
Yes, Mr. Langston is the brother of the female victim and the brother-in-law of the male victim.